Sounds pretty good to me. My question to you is, can you change your genetic makeup? And more importantly, why would you? So, can I change my genetic makeup? And more importantly, why would I want to? Why would anybody want to? Well, let me ask you a question. Have you ever wished that there was something different about you? You were different, or maybe you wished you were somebody else or had somebody else's attributes. Maybe you were taller or smarter or faster or whatever. Well, anybody that would want to change anything about themselves is so that they could navigate through life easier, quicker, faster, and more efficiently. And is this Harry Potter hocus pocus, unicorns and rainbows and magic? I don't think so. And so let's start from the very beginning, the basics. And by the way, this is not science fiction or hocus pocus. This is science. What are our genes? Our genes they make up the characteristics of who we are. They're the building blocks of every cell in our body. They're the programs of who we are. And let's just take a look at some common beliefs about it, that we didn't pick the genes that we have, and this is maybe true. We are who we are. And if you don't like those characteristics, unfortunately, you can't change them. You're stuck with them. Is that true? I don't think so. And then lastly, genes turn on and off by themselves. Is that true? Again, I don't think so. Well, what if we can change our genes? What if our genes are changing all along? Let me give you an example. There's something called epigenetics, and it is the science of how the beliefs of the ancestors are handed down generationally into the offspring. And what that means is this. I'll give you an example. They take mice, and by the way, they did human studies as well, but this is a great example. They took mice, and I don't approve of this way of going about it, but it's just the way that things are. They take mice, and they take these mice, and they introduce the smell of like cinnamon or vanilla to them. And as soon as they do, they give the mouse a little shock, give the mouse a little bit of pain. They do this over and over again until pretty soon they don't even have to shock the mouse. All they have to do is introduce the smell, and the mouse goes into a panic. The mouse goes into the fear mode, fight or flight. Well, here's the interesting thing. 10, 15, 20 generations down the road of the offspring, the babies who never had anything to do, were never around those ancestors, all they had to do was introduce the smell of vanilla or cinnamon to them, and that mouse would go into panic. That mouse would go into fight or flight, which means that in the genetics, the makeup of that individual was changed. You know, you might call it evolution or whatever, but you got to look at it that we do change as human beings. Humans have changed over time, and lots of things have changed over time. So the question is, do I have to wait generations to make it happen? Well, the answer is no. We can make changes, and we do it all the time. So based on that, I'm sure you can see that our beliefs are affected by our genes. But did you know that our genes are also affected by our beliefs? In other words, those mice they believed that as soon as they smelled that, then they had to go into fear, fight or flight. But guess what? You can change that now. You can change what you believe right now. And a belief is nothing more than a feeling that you have based on a reference that you have. What does that mean? We all have references of things that we know how to ride a bicycle or drive a car or any of those things. We believe that we can do them, so that makes us able to do it. We do it enough times, it becomes who we are. That's part of our genealogy. So where do these beliefs come from? They come from two different places inside our heads. Our subconscious mind and our conscious mind. The subconscious mind are thoughts that we are unaware of. We don't know we're thinking them. As a matter of fact, you got a ton and a ton and a ton of subconscious thoughts that are going on. You have to have them. They're those thoughts about, regulating your heartbeat or regulating your pulse or your temperature and all of those things that are going on. But did you know you also have subconscious beliefs and thoughts about yourself? Your self-worth, your abilities, Everything about you is subconscious inside, and you're not aware of it. And those things, they run the program. Remember what I said about the mice? Well, it's a subconscious thing that's going on inside of them that they should be afraid of vanilla. So it's a survival mechanism, if you will. And then we have conscious thoughts. And those conscious thoughts, we're aware of them. We know we're thinking about this globe here or anything that's going on. And we can literally hear those thoughts inside of our heads. But did you know both of them you can actually program? You can determine which ones of those are going to be dominant and how they're going to affect you as well. Your subconscious mind is the default software that your body runs, taught to you as a child or somewhere way back there. When your conscious is busy, the subconscious steps in as an autopilot, not with your wishes and your desires, but with whatever was programmed. And so what I mean by that is this. Unfortunately, human beings, we tend to default to struggle and worry and concern, but it doesn't have to be that way. And why would it be that way? It is a defense mechanism. Those mice needed to be able to go, okay, well, wait a minute. That means that there's danger. And so that's their default. But did you know that you can change it? You can shift it and shift your programming so that you default to a more resourceful you. So one of those ways is something called the placebo effect. I'm sure you've heard about it, where they take a group of people that have an illness, they're sick, and they will give half of that group of people medication, a drug, and then they'll give the other half of those people like a bread pill or a sugar pill. And what happens is the ones that got the bread pills got the same results as the others. They became better as a result because the mind got tricked into believing that the bread pills were actually getting the result. Well, you can do the same thing with you. And it is, in fact, a way of tricking yourself in doing this. And we do it all the time. You know, my mentors always tell me things like, listen, as long as you're going to lie to yourself, you might as well tell the best lies. Because have you ever had something in your life that you believed and then all of a sudden it wasn't true? And then you realize, well, all of this time, I've been feeling this way and I've been feeling bad about it and it's not true? Well, we all have. Well, if it works like that, you can program yourself. And one of the easiest, quickest, best, fastest ways is just through repetition of you just saying something to yourself over and over again. As simple as, have a great exercise that you can do. Go to the mirror, look yourself in the eyes, put a big smile on your face, and just say, I love you, I love you, I love you, over and over again. At some point, the subconscious mind is going to believe it through repetition. And you are literally programming yourself. And you'll feel it, and guess what? You'll love yourself even more. And so the question is, how does the placebo effect, or what I was just saying, repetition or anything, doing it over and over, change your genetics? Well, think about this, and this is with anything. I don't care whether it's your mind or your physical body, whatever it is. Anything that is done over and over again, we develop muscle memory, we develop nervous system memory, we develop belief memory about it. And in the moment when we're doing it, like for example, if I said you go to the mirror and you say, I love you, then pretty soon you're going to stand differently. You're going to breathe differently. It's going to be in your face. It's going to be everything about you. You can see that about you. Done enough times, it becomes who you are. But here's the great part about it. People around us, it affects them as well. So we're not only changing ourselves through that repetition, we're not only building that muscle here and here, we're also building our world around us. So it treats us differently. So that smell of vanilla is the smell of rose or whatever makes us feel better. And for example, the function of our mind, the function of the creative mind, the conscious mind, is to take the programs that we have and manifest a life that matches the program. What does that mean? The purpose of our conscious mind is to take whatever the subconscious mind hands us and make it real around us, make us feel that way and make it show up in our lives. And so it's really, really, really simple. And that is to see it the way that you want it, say it the way that you want it, do it over and over again, and then pretty soon you become the way that you want it. So how does that play out physically? How does that play out to what's happening inside your body to make a change? Well, listen, anytime our subconscious mind and our conscious mind are together and they're working together, the brain and the body is going to release chemicals, hormones, if you will. If it's great hormones, I call that awesome sauce. Dopamine and endorphins and things like that. If it's bad hormones, that's just stress hormones that put out. And so the trick is to release as much of the great stuff, the awesome sauce as possible. It's why I wrote the book, Awesome Sauce, where I teach you step by step how to create more awesome sauce so that you're in the zone. Awesome sauce are those hormones that we release that make us feel good in the moment, that cause us to go, oh, I want some more of that, and then we automatically do it. So click on the link, get yourself a copy, and what I'm encouraging you to do is to create more awesome sauce for yourself so that you become even more of an awesome person, and I will see you at the top. So are you ready to make some changes? Are you ready to shift your genealogy and make some shifts in yourself? Well, listen, you can even take some before and after pictures. It'll amaze you the differences that you'll make. Do the things that I said, and you'll start to make those shifts in you. And make sure that you subscribe and ring the bell, and I'll see you on the next video.